Hello, everyone, and welcome to Static Realms Hangouts. I'm Eddie Lovecraft, and I am here with the real life Zarina, who I feel is like a mystical creature on Instagram and Facebook. It feels like you're not real, but here you are. How are you, Zarina?
Well, I'm very real. Well, I'm well. How are you, Eddie?
I'm doing good. I'm doing just fine. So I understand you moved to Spain. You know, you were from New York originally, and you moved all the way to Spain. Why the move?
Well, pandemic. Well, that's the truth. Well, a lot of the gigs that I had scheduled for New York, unfortunately, they all got canceled, and we have a home in Spain. We've always had a home in Spain, and we've just been wanting to get here eventually. So we weren't planning on moving here till maybe 5 years from now or whatnot, but the pandemic basically gave us that weird opportunity to basically reassess our lives and relocate and kind of start over.
Yeah,
So it's pretty, I was pretty pleased with that development.
yeah. Well, I see that, you're starting over, and I see that you are also jumping into a new label as well, which
Yeah.
the Dark Tunes label. Can you tell us a little bit how you ran into Dark Tunes and signed with them?
Yeah, so Dark Tunes discovered me, and I received an email from them shortly after I moved to Spain, and basically inviting me to join the label. And then, I checked them out, and I thought they're really cool and they're really badass.
Yeah,
And I really, was really impressed with their roster. And I was at that juncture with my music. Well, I started with some 80s retrowave inspired record and singles, but I've always been I've always liked darker music. I was in a metal band earlier on when I was in my early 20s, and I've always done proggy metal type of rock music. And at one point I wanted to kind of get into that, or at least infuse a little bit of that into my synth based music. And so I thought it was a perfect opportunity to sign on with Dark Tunes, kind of push me towards that darker edge and still be able to retain a lot of that 80s, retro, neon noir type of vibe and sound. And it's working out really well so far.
no, no,
I'm
that's
really
great.
excited. Yeah.
I'm happy that you were in a metal group before, so I can just imagine you headbanging and going crazy and screaming. So if you
It was a lot of fun.
if
It
you
was
do
definitely
have
a lot of fun.
those videos or music, you got to put it out there. I didn't even know they existed.
I have to find them. Yeah. I have to find them. They're out there. But it was like during the MySpace time. And
Oh yeah, yeah. Everything in MySpace. Like I try to go into MySpace, and it just like they delete everything. It's like it's gone.
oh yeah, it's gone. Yeah,
Yeah, but it
everything's
was a
gone.
fun time, fun time. Now, speaking of fun times, I want to go a little bit farther in the past before you got into the music. Now, what led you into that route, or did you almost go into another route?
Well, uh, I've always had art and design as a background along with music.
Mm.
It's it was it was an interesting journey because in the beginning, my parents wanted me to get into Broadway, so they signed me up to Broadway training, theater, singing, acting, dancing, and all that stuff, which I'm really, really grateful for because a lot of that's really helping me out right now. And I was being groomed for Broadway, and I actually went through auditions and landed some parts. But when I was 15, I decided I didn't want to proceed with it, and I broke my parents' hearts because I discovered um, grunge music at that age. Basically when I was 13, 14, I discovered grunge and rock and metal, and I was like, I really want to do
Go
this
that way.
instead, go that route. So so when I turned my back to Broadway, my dad basically bought me an electric guitar like the following day, and okay, here you go. This is what you do. But the same time, music has always been a hobby, like a passion project type of thing. And in terms of career development, I took the design route, and went to fashion school and became a designer, um, and a visual artist, and fashion designer, visual artist, graphic designer, and all that stuff. And um, that's where I spent the majority of the last 2 decades, basically, in fashion. And I end up starting my own fashion company.
What's your fashion company called?
It's Ivy Kirshner, and that's a pseudonym. Basically, it's a footwear company that it's luxury based.
Mhm.
Um, it's in a contemporary luxury price point. We sold at Nordstrom, at Saks, at
Oh wow.
Bloomingdale's, Printemps in Paris, Harrods in London, Selfridges. It was global, and it did really, really well. And then that's how I entered, um, the realm. That's how I place myself on the map. Yeah, it's fashion. Like, I have a lot of Instagram followers following me for fashion. And I'm sure a lot of them are upset that I turned to music eventually. But yeah, I end up bringing the company to a certain level, a certain height, and I got tired, unfortunately, in the middle of it, and I end up selling and folding, and then eventually, with the hopes that we will eventually bring it back. We're actually gonna bring it back this year, but
Nice.
because of the pandemic, a lot of that for sure got postponed. So,
Yeah,
which is
I can
why I'm in
imagine.
Spain.
I can imagine the creativity that you're creating now for your fashion line in your mind. Now, speaking of fashion, also, I wanted to show your video. I believe this is your first music video that you directed, Silence
Yeah.
and Surrender. Is that correct?
Yeah, Sounds Surrender. Yes.
Can you give us a little insight on that video with all the fashion within it, and also the idea of it?
Yeah, like I was really excited because I just saw, I think, Blade Runner 2049. Is that yeah, I think it's 2049. I think I was really, really inspired by that movie, and also by the most importantly, the original Blade Runner, with Vangelis scoring it, and that was the very beginning. And um I really, really vibe with it. And so when I was creating the treatment for Silence and Surrender, like, I wanted to recapture a lot of that neo noir vibe.
Right.
But what was really cool about Blade Runner is the fact that there's a lot of iconic looks in it, and so I didn't want to copy Blade Runner, but I wanted to, okay, create iconic looks. And so that's how the fashion experience really helped me this time.
Yeah, you did great. You did amazing. So with that, let's watch this iconic experience, Silence and Surrender by Serena.
Feel me break right through the door.
Wow, Zarina, that is quite the video. And was that your first time ever doing a video?
Yeah, that was the first time I ever created a music video treatment and also end up directing it,
Yeah.
um, and styling everything and working with extras and actors. So that was a lot of firsts right in there.
Yeah. Quite the scene, quite the scene. And I love the colors and, the television sets that you had in the background are
Yeah,
really eye-popping.
that was really fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny for the Static Realms. We were going hunting like Goodwill and pawn shops for the old style retro TVs, and I didn't remember how heavy those things are. Those things,
They're beasts.
yeah. You're like, oh, that's old and plastic. It's gonna be light, but it's heavier than any widescreen TV I have ever seen. Yeah, so I know that you're in Spain now. So how do you compare the lifestyle of Spain or Europe as opposed to the world of the US of A?
Oh man, I would highly recommend for everyone to come move to Europe. Like, I'm sorry. But I mean, just the food alone, the produce, like you just taste the difference. And the Europeans, they know how to live. And for some reason, I find their way of life a little bit more evolved. And I really hate to say this, but it's kind of true because I mean they have amazing government regulations with the environment alone, stuff like that, that I really like, I'm very like I notice those things. Like, in New York you take everything for granted. But here it's kind of like, oh yeah, yeah, we shouldn't overfish our waters and stuff like that. But it's pretty amazing. I mean, I love Europe. And
Right.
even before I moved here, I always came here for research. Studying the fashion, studying the market, what people are wearing, what the trends, were going to be, and all that stuff. And the Europeans definitely had something. They always got something right in that arena, and yeah, amongst a lot of things for sure.
Yeah,
So I moved to Europe.
yeah, my sister and I, we grew up in Europe as well. I was the ages of 1 to 8. So we were about 7.5 years in Italy, actually. So that was the food that I was accustomed to. And in Italy, we had one McDonald's, okay? And
I haven't seen McDonald's here in Spain. I mean, I'm in Galicia, so I don't know.
It's got to be somewhere. But the McDonald's in Italy was like, it was like Disneyland. You would go there and it had a statue of Ron McDonald just standing up. The place was as big as a mall. And I was like, wow, is this how US of A is everywhere? All the McDonald's are like Disney World. Lo and behold, when we moved to the US of A, I was in Texas. We go to our first McDonald's and it was just like what you know of now, just a stinky room filled with people munching along. So
I feel like McDonald's does a good job everywhere else but the United States.
yeah,
Yeah, because like when I used to go to Hong Kong, like I was like, wow, their fries are different, and their menu's different, and it seems a little healthier. I'm sure it's not, but it seems
They give the quality to the outsiders from the US, and the US are like, they'll eat anything. Here you guys go. So let's go ahead and move to our next music video. Okay, so I see that we're going with Burn, the cover of The Cure. Now, let me ask you, why did you decide to go with The Cure?
Okay, well, my favorite movie is The Crow. Actually, like Brandon Lee was my childhood crush. Like I think he actually was my first crush, and I thought that he was like, well, growing up, I was a tomboy, right? So, when I saw Brandon Lee, I was like, you know what? That's like the most perfect specimen of man, and that made me into a girly girl that I am. It's like, okay. So that emotional connection always stayed with me. And so, so The Crow, dark movie, gothic, martial arts and all that stuff, and super awesome. So things that I actually really got into. I'm into martial arts. I love dark noir vibes. And I thought his performance was really awesome. And then when I heard the soundtrack, that was actually my first introduction to The Cure. See, I was only 13, 14 when that movie came out. And that turned me on to The Cure, and I discovered dark wave because of it. So just the whole emotional connection with that song. It was just right that I cover it. That would be my first cover, and I dedicated it to Robert Smith and Brandon Lee.
It's an amazing song to cover. I remember where I was when the whole Crow was coming out. We all heard the passing of Brandon Lee with the unfortunate accident, and everybody was just like, no, Bruce Lee's son. And we had seen movies prior, like I remember the one with Dolph Lundgren. I forgot the name of it, but we had not seen Brandon Lee to his ultimate acting and his what made him. And that movie, The Crow, definitely made him a legend.
Right.
And I remember watching it. I actually went with my parents. I believe I was like in 6th grade, so I too was like 11 or 12, and we all went as a family, and all of us were just like, we were so consumed with the music, the visuals, Brandon Lee just looking like the perfect, character in that mask, the makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was 2 songs that really just stuck out to me, and that one was The Cure, Burn. Well, I was just like, you can feel it, and then the other one was Nine Inch Nails cover song of what is the band called again? I can't remember the original version, but I just loved how Brandon Lee was running over the rooftops.
Right.
It was an experience, and had to get that CD right afterwards.
Yeah, that would definitely one of the most iconic movies, iconic actor, iconic songs. Like everything was really packed in that film, and it's sad because I don't really see films like that anymore.
No. I would say, like, what reminded me of the Crow from Brandon Lee's acting was actually Heath Ledger's Joker. I had that.
Oh yeah.
That same kind of energy. I mean, one's crazy. The other one is, he's pretty crazy too, but he's out for revenge.
Right. Okay. That's like bleeding heart crazy. Like he was definitely in pain. Kind of crazy. Yeah.
All right, Zarina, so lead us into your music video, Burn, and give us a little insight.
Well, Burn was, I wanted to basically take the opportunity to say something with this music video, and it's a commentary on mental health issues. So we basically see this girl go through stages of mania, and until she finally crashes and burn, and then and we see what happens after. Like, she comes out completely different. But I've wanted to say something, and with my music videos, there's always something. There's always a message that I wanted to convey. I didn't want to do some, you know, gyrating dance moves like that you normally find. I want to come across as an artist who thinks about what she's doing with her art. So that's basically a core signature in a lot of the Zarina videos. Like, I won't produce it or create it if I felt like it didn't say anything.
And with that, here is Burn. Wow, Zarina, quite the video. And Electrish from Static Realms, actually, when she saw this video, she was like, I need to go become her best friend and live in her closet. But there's
I
so
want
many,
to be your best friend too.
but yeah, but she was just amazed with the, that big lion you have. Do you own that? What is that?
Wait, which one? Come
The
again?
big,
Sorry.
the big statue that you have.
Oh, the lion. No. So this was all shot at my friend Missy Papa George's amazing Soho loft. And she basically designed her pad to look like almost like a museum of curiosities. So she's got a lot of like really beautiful oddities in there, and one of them's the disco lion. And as a matter of fact, Miley Cyrus just did a photo shoot at the same loft
Nice.
just recently. I think it's for this last release that she did. And then yeah, the disco lion is getting a lot of attention because of that.
Yeah, yeah, that disco lion is like, hey, we thought that it was your lion and you just have that in the house. I was like, wow.
Oh no. That is not my, I wish it was my house, but no, it wasn't my house.
Yeah. So I want to talk about, the creation of Zarina. So it comes down that you began your thing, you were in fashion, almost went the Broadway route. And then you ended up as, I guess, the synthwave cyberpunk world. Like, how did the creation of Zarina happen?
Well, I wanted to so the entire time I was in fashion, I've always dabbled in music. I had like little like music projects, like they're all passion projects and whatnot. And I wanted to do something unique and different, but not so poppy, not so dark either, or too rock based. And then yeah, I was watching Blade Runner, and I got inspired by Vangelis's work in the original Blade Runner, and I was like, okay, this is like a really nice, wonderful vibe. It has, it's retro, but it's very atmospheric and cinematic, and so that's how the cogs, like in my brain started turning, and I wanted a project that gave a nod to that. So Zarina became this neon noir um, type of project, and it definitely has that dark atmospheric vibe in the beginning, and then slowly it started growing into more cyberpunk bass, you know, rock bass, and it just keeps on growing and basically expanding into other realms. And so now I'm actually working on my second record. The first record, Painted Holograms, was my debut record, which was very retro bass. It has a slight 80s synth pop dark wave vibe. And then now in the next record that's coming out later this year, I started introducing a lot of the original genres that I used to dabble in. So like I said, I used to be in a metal band. I used to be in progressive rock bands, and a lot of that vibe is entering uh, this second record that I'm working on. So it's a
Right.
lot heavier, more expansive in dynamics. There's still synths, but it's like it's electronic and organic at the same time. And I feel like I'm kind of discovering myself and discovering who I am as an artist more and more as the day goes. And so yeah, that's where Zarina is
Yeah.
right now.
Good. And really quick, like, how'd you get up the idea of Zarina and spacing
Well,
out letters?
well, well, there's a lot of artists named Zarina, like out there, so that's why I went on capital letters and all spaces.
Right.
But Zarina means empress in Russian, and actually that was the nickname that I received when I was running, was when I was in fashion, when I was running my company. They're like, oh, you're creating your little empires here and there. You're like a little Zarina, and so that kind of got stuck. So that's like a little remnant of my past that is present, and I wanted to kind of honor that. And but then through all the growth through all the experience of running a company and all the entrepreneurial route, I basically became this girl who not like the entire time I was running the company, I didn't feel like a Zarina. I didn't feel like an empress. But then at the very end of it, when I folded that chapter, that's when I felt like I really grew and became the name that I am embodying right now.
Well, we definitely welcome the Zarina. You definitely are a Zarina. So I'm glad that you're what all the arts that you're pursuing, and it's definitely touching a lot of people. And if not, I wouldn't even have you on the show. So you've definitely done your job, and I'm really appreciating that you're here. Now I want to show you some pictures, and it's going to lead to our next music video. And I want you to just talk to me about everyone here. And
I miss everyone. So this is basically New York City synth fam. Majority of them. The guy all the way to the left actually is a really old friend of mine, who's an artist, and he's actually the makeup artist. That's Chris O'Leary. But so if I'm gonna go through every single person in here, starting from the left, so that the girl, first woman on those crazy high heel boots, that's Sarah Gogler of Turbogoth. And then there's Nestor Fan, who's actually my design intern. Yeah, I think he does dabble in synths. I'm not sure, but he was my design intern, and he's always done projects with me. And between he and I, there's Paolo Peralta, also of Turbogoth. So Sarah and Paolo are in the band together, and we've played a lot of gigs and shows all over New York. And of course, there's me, and then next to me is Faith in the Glitch, Josh Lampman. Who basically is also surprisingly a really, really, I mean, it's not surprising, but nobody knows this, but he's a really talented martial artist. So when I was
he
looking
looks like he's ready to go. He's got the hand gesture.
oh yeah, he was so easy to work with. Like he basically got his parts. We did the choreography right there and then, and he was like, "Okay, I got this," And he's super talented and also very, of course, a very talented musician.
You look very ready as well. Look at you.
Oh yeah. And then there's Bunny X, after Josh, and then basically
we love Bunny X over here in Static Realms. So we've had them on 2 episodes, and we definitely want to get them on the show again.
They're like my sisters. I mean, we just like Turbogoth, like that's the trio that so me, Turbogoth, and Bunny X, yeah, we're the ones who always play together. We basically, I think,
the traveling trio.
yeah, we've done so many shows, and we've all opened for other people as well, other artists, and we're always together. And I really miss them right now. And the last person all the way to the right is Wes Balding, who's also a musician, but in this scheme of things, like he's basically the ultimate baddie in Blaze. Yeah.
Yeah. No, they all look like something straight out of a manga or a comic book, and love it.
That's exactly what we were hoping for.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and start playing the video. Awesome. This is Blaze Dances with the Yokai.
According to legend, a true warrior is blessed by the spirit of a yokai at birth, from which they draw great strength. It is a yokai warrior's sacred duty to protect and retain the delicate balance of the universe. If a yokai warrior falls and becomes corrupted, they turn into uncontrollable weapons, bringing chaos wherever they go.
I'm glad you're finally awake, my lady.
Okay, that is definitely my favorite music video that you have created. Now, I do see it says to be continued. Where is the continuation?
We were supposed to film the continuation, but that will have to wait till it's safer to bring larger crowds together.
Right. Do you have a song that you're deciding to put as the continuation, or it's gonna when it comes, it'll be ready?
Yeah, it's actually in this new record that's coming out.
Awesome.
But it's the sister or brother to Blaze, basically, and I wrote it with Blaze in mind.
Awesome. I see that you are filming a new music video, and I want to pop this up so that the audience can see. So this looks great. I ripped this off of your Instagram, and yes, you have the green screen behind you. You're decked up in this crazy, almost Tron cyberpunk outfit. Can you please give us a little clue as to what direction you're going on with this?
Well, it's definitely not synthwave. They always ask that question. Is it synthwave? I'm like, come on. It's definitely not synthwave. But the track is cyberpunk based, but there's a lot of elements going to it. It's a little proggy. It's goth. It's dark wave. It's industrial. There's a lot of really, really interesting elements going on, and I really can't wait to reveal this. But this is also a music video where I'm purely dancing. So you just
dancing.
Yeah. not a lot of people have seen me dance, but I can definitely serve. I'm very proud of my dancing skills. I just did everything on the fly, and everything was freestyled and zero choreography whatsoever, but it all works. But
this is great.
Yeah, so it's very, very it's high energy, high octane, thumping. It's one of the things that I've been challenging myself to do is to do a gothic-y or dance track type of vibe, up tempo. It's something that I haven't done before, so this is all new, and it's really exciting. I was really, really proud of this one.
Yeah. So a gothic up tempo song. I see the song is called Atomic. And let's see. Yeah, with the outfit, I can only imagine what the dance moves are going to be. But I'm pretty sure your Broadway skills are going to start coming out with your amazing dance moves. Now, I love what you said here. You're like, happy Valentine's. This is what I'm wearing. Perfect. It's definitely makes you go, whoa, this is
what kind of Valentine's are you having right there?
Yeah, and that's going to be under the label Dark Tunes Music Group. So that's going to be your first music video under that label, correct?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. And when should we be expecting it?
March 5th.
March 5th.
Atomic ad initium. Yeah, it has Latin parts, and I actually do sing in Latin.
That's great.
Yeah. yeah. I actually had my dad check my Latin. My dad was like, "You don't know what you're talking about." You're going to conjure up Satan with your Latin. But I think I did pretty well. My new single and music video, Atomic ad initium, it's coming out on all platforms, including YouTube, where you'll see the music video, of course. March 5th.
March 5th. So yeah, everyone check it out. Check out the website of Dark Tunes. You'll see Zarina's information there as well. And also go to Zarina's website, which is, let's see, I got a nice little banner for it. ZarinaOfficial.com. Get all the great information there. All right, so let's go with a little fun topic. Now, I know that you're a Gemini, like myself. And I know a lot of people, when they hear the name Gemini, I'm pretty sure they're like, oh, then you're two-faced. Do you get that?
Of course.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So what is your response to people that start hating you right away just because of the Gemini sign?
First of all, you guys are just jealous. Duh,
That's
best sign ever. Just kidding. I'm not kidding. No. Two-Face, I don't think that we're two-faced per se, or I mean, I don't think that. I think we have two sides. We definitely have two sides, which makes us really adaptable. So we can adapt, and I think that's what's beautiful about being Gemini. And we definitely play those light and dark parts. I definitely have duality. I always explore duality in my art, and there's always like a light side and a darker side. There's a side that likes to wear color. There's the side that likes to wear black. Like this is how I look at it. Um, but yeah, but I think we do have a bad rep, and I'm aware of that. Because we're unpredictable.
yeah. Yeah, when people ask me, they're like, "Oh, you're a Gemini, you're Two-Face," and I think also I'm like, I think everyone has more than one persona. You show different people different things, and also how the energy is around you. If you're at a concert, your happy face comes on. If you're in something else, a bad car crash or something, you got your mad sad face on, assuming that nothing really bad happened there. But I think everyone has a different face for a different moment. So all of us are not just Two-Face. We're 4, 5, 6. We have this different masks that we can put on.
I always compare people to the moon. Like, we all have different sides. We all have different facets, and we show a certain side depending on the situation. And I think Geminis are just really good at picking which side to show at the right moment.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure I'm showing a side right now.
Yeah. So Gemini power. So with that, I want to ask you another thing. I noticed that a while back on Instagram, you had shown some pictures of yourself when you were at a moment in your life where you weren't too, too happy. You had gained some weight.
Yeah.
I guess you had wanted to just, you didn't want to move forward as in, creativity. And I guess you were just stuck at a moment. If you're okay with, talking about it, would you like to get?
For sure.
So,
I think it's important to talk about it because that was actually that was the height. That was during the height of my company, and we were doing well, but also the stress load was awful. Like everyone has this conception about pursuing dreams sometimes, and I always come in with a cautionary tale about like be careful what you pursue and be careful for like what you wish for. But yeah, at the peak of the fashion company, like I was just gaining weight. Like I was gaining like 10 pounds each year, and doctors were really concerned. They're like, what are you doing? Like, and what's happening. And of course I couldn't tell them that, oh, all the stress from work. I couldn't really explain that. So um but that was a really difficult moment, and it's true, well, at least for me, it's true that if I'm in a really bad place in my life, it really manifests physically. So that was hard. I gained 30 pounds at the very end of it, until I finally snapped and went through a lot of changes in my lifestyle. And that's also the time when I said, you know what, I can't continue running this company on my own, and I really need to pass it on to someone bigger than me and more capable. So that's when I decided to fold and sell and basically start piecing my life back together. So when you're pursuing, at least from what I realized, when you're pursuing something big and you throw everything in it, you do lose bits and pieces of yourself. Um, there's always a trade-off, for success, and trade-off, like, for whatever it is that, that you want out of life. Um, and yeah, and then at that point when I basically decided to surrender everything and basically get back on a get back to square one and reevaluate my life and redesign it, so to speak. And what do I really want? What do I want to do? What do I want to pursue? It all went back to doing music. Music was something that I neglected for a very, very long time, and I realized it was a piece that I shouldn't have. Yeah, I shouldn't have neglected it for sure. It's something that I need to bring back because it's a cornerstone that I had. So I decided to pursue music, and decided to take care of myself better, exercise, work out. I went vegan. which was a really, really great decision. Now back scaled back to being pescatarian because I do like fish and I like seafood, but yeah, it was a very important moment in my life when it took a lot of bravery to let go of a lot of things that you thought that you earned, and things that you thought that you wanted, things that you worked decades for, and then basically take a leap of faith and know that you're going to be all right on the other side. So
Yeah, and I'm happy you did that. You didn't lose yourself. You found yourself again through music and
yeah.
your passion for your arts. I know your passion was also fashion as well, but sometimes when things don't become fun anymore, and I talked about this all the time with Electrish. There's points where Static Realms becomes too much. And we start ripping our hair out, and I say when it doesn't become fun, it's when we need to either put it on pause or call it quits. Hasn't come to a point where we're like, no, we hate it, but it has come to a point. It's like, all right, let's take a 2-week break. Let's not even talk about Static Realms, and then when we're recharged, we bring it back and we find ways to keep it fun. Because once it's not fun anymore, like you said, you start losing yourself. And
And I think that's the balance that everyone really needs to find for themselves. Like, life should not just be about working and working all the time. Like,
yeah,
there's
absolutely,
there's I mean, even in the synthwave scene, I talk to a lot of other musicians who are they're doctors, lawyers, like, the people
yeah,
with big jobs, like, and then, they're like, no, I do music because it keeps me sane. And I really felt that. Like, I felt that. Like, I know I didn't do music for a long time. And when I get back to it, I was like, oh, wow, this is something that's been missing from me my entire life. And it just, it's a part of you that needs to be taken care of. So I think, yes, once it gets too much, I think that's when you need to take a break, step back, and basically, instead of quitting, find another route, because
absolutely.
I feel like when you're not having fun, that's when you're doing something wrong, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Well, on that note, for all the people, I hope you guys are having fun watching this show. I know we went to a topic that was a little, you know, sad and real, but we're
yeah.
gonna pump you up with a music video that's gonna hopefully bring our energy back up. Now I see you worked with Future Enemies, and you have a nice black and white music video, and it's very soothing. Now I don't know if the lyrics are supposed to be soothing, but feel very soothed out when I watch it. Is that even a word? Soothed out, but it is today. Give us some information about this music video and how you started working with Future Enemies.
So Future Enemy is actually my best friend Joe Paratori, and he and I have been working on music on the side for quite some time. I think for 20 years. So when I was in a metal band, he was our producer, and then we dabbled on projects together, which we never released. And then when I started Zarina, um, I did a lot of the production for my debut record, but for my marquee track, which is Silence Surrender, which the one that we just played right now, I had Joe, aka Future Enemies. He wasn't Future Enemies at that time. He was just Joe. Lead the production on Silence Surrender. And I was actually glad that I had him do the lead on that because it basically Silence Surrender was my first song, and basically dictated the direction for Zarina stylistically,
Mhm.
for the rest of the record. And so we've been wanting to do more collaborations together, and I've been encouraging him to get on with a music project. So he created Future Enemies, and Left and Said was his first song, um, and or rather first composition, and he sent it to me. And knowing Joe and how talented he is, I definitely just fell in love, like, with the way he used the synths, like, the harsh sounds and the harsh qualities, yet at the same time it's very atmospheric and ethereal.
Mhm.
And I thought that, hey, you know what? Okay, let's do this. And it was also the last song that I wrote when I was still in New York. So it was kind of like bittersweet in that sense, where I was leaving New York and I was folding a chapter. And then so that's what the song became about. Like, there are certain things that I haven't done, I haven't said, that will never get said or never get done,
Yeah.
because I'm going on with my journey. So yeah, and then the music video done during the lockdown, so we had to be clever, and we had to basically figure out, how do you do a music video that's still impactful, yet still has, but doesn't require too many people. And so I end up directing and producing my segment with my husband Deadly Kawaii, and Joe started doing his unit at his house and basically started shooting just mundane objects, whatever he could find, and
It worked.
it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were like, okay, we got this. So, but yeah, this is actually Future Enemies' debut, and I was really, really glad that he asked me to be a part of it.
Yeah, well, you tell future enemies that you and him knocked it out of the park with this video. It's like you said, it's a chapter of your life that you had ended, opening into a new chapter. So,
Yeah.
with that being sad, it is also still lovely all at the same time. And we're gonna play it right now. Future Enemies with Serena on set. And that was Left Unsaid with Zarina and Future Enemies. Beautiful song, beautiful song. Now, I want to know, what are your future plans going forward? I know you're, doing the new music and the new music videos. Do you have your eyes set on anything else?
Well, I'm probably going to. I'm no promises, all right. So don't hold this against me. I'm going to attempt my first live stream sometime this year.
All right, nice.
I'm a performer, and I miss the stage. I miss performing. I'm still trying to figure out the technological aspect of this whole live stream stuff. But yeah, that is going to be a big undertaking this year. And
Well,
see
now
how
that
I
you
can
said
do it.
that, yeah, now that you said that, us over here at Static Realms are going to annoy you constantly, trying to get you to go live on our show, Static Realms Music Hour.
I'd love to.
We would love
I'll
that.
definitely let you guys know when I'm ready. Um, but other than that, I have about 3 or 4 music videos slated for this year, and 2 singles coming out, and of course my big new LP, Arcana, coming out this summer.
Awesome. So yeah,
Big things happening. Yeah.
I can't wait to see anything. Have you ever thought about getting your music on vinyl, or because I've noticed that I feel like I can only download your music? Do you have any physical copies?
I'm definitely working on a physical copy for Arcana, and I'm still trying to figure out if I can, because it is over 40 minutes. I don't really know what the limit is, but yeah, we're working on that. So
Yeah, that's great, and I can't wait till everything opens up. I can only imagine you touring all over Europe with all these metal bands, and also with synthwave bands. So
yeah,
hopefully that happens
to
sooner.
go on tour. I'm dying to go on tour. I was supposed to do a lot of shows last year, but of course can't do that anymore.
Yeah. Well, I want to leave our whole interview with a song that we started with on the intro, "Till the Last Year." It's another,
To the Last Star.
Yeah, "Till the Last Star." I don't know. It definitely set the mood. When I was picking the song out for the introduction to this whole interview, I was like, "What is the perfect song? What is the one that's going to make the scenery?" And it's "Till the Last Star." Give us a story about "Till the Last Star."
Well, it's my first ballad, space wave ballad. So it's supposed to feel like it's taking you through outer space, and I wrote it shortly after I got married. So it was dedicated to my husband, Deli Kawai. and I always struggled with love music, and or anything that's around those themes, so like romance and whatnot. And I was just looking for the perfect words. And one night we were up gazing at the stars. And I was like, oh, okay, like till the last star. That it just all came to me, and then I ended up writing the song in maybe 20 minutes. It was probably the easiest thing. Like, everything just flowed. It was the easiest production, easiest song that I ever wrote, and I ended up just releasing it like almost like a couple days later. Like, it was
Great.
Yeah, one of the things that just came together so perfectly well, like the planets aligned, like the stars aligned.
That's awesome. That's funny. We should definitely leave it like this. I'm gonna have to go through the Static Realms love story. This is Static Realms Love Show. We're gonna have love music for everyone, including Sabrina's husband and everyone else listening. Static Jams.
Static Jams.
So with that, here is the love song, "Till the Last Star."
Unspoken words.
And that was our last video of the day. I do want Zarina, can you leave it off with giving us a strong message on everyone's dreams and everything else?
I'm going to keep it simple. Just be kind to one another. That's it.
And with that, this is Static Realms Hangouts, and we are saying bye. Bye, everyone.